Hello, welcome to my stream. Tonight we'll be playing more of RollerCoaster Tycoon Deluxe. And last Friday was a very good Friday because we could make a very good progression in this game. We were able to finish Big Pier 2, which was a very easy and fast level. It was kind of shocking because in the first year we were already done with the objective, and then we just had to wait until the second year was over for us to complete it. So we did have a very amazing time in there. And after it, because it was also very short, I decided to move on to the next level, which was Dragon's Cove. But this level now, on the opposite, it's very hard. It's once again asking us to build 5 coasters that need to have some excitement rating requirements. I believe in this level it's going to be something around 6.4 of excitement rating. That sucks, but at least it's not the worst. The worst was in Volcania, if I remember it right, that they were asking us to build 5 coasters with 6.75 of excitement rating. That was a nightmare. But let's see how it's going to go today. I have started that level last time, like I said, but I didn't start working on the coasters. I was only setting the place up and preparing everything up for us to make some profit and then use that profit on the coasters. Hopefully, we'll be able to come up with at least one of those coasters ready, but it's going to be hard, especially because I just remember that one of the models they want us to finish is a bobsled roller coaster, also known as the bloodshed roller coaster, right? So that's going to suck, but I'm definitely leaving it for the last. Let's work on the other models that are more chill, more easy for us to finish them, to complete them, and hopefully we'll be able to have a better time in this level than in the previous ones that were asking us to do the same. And hey Nubble, Victor, Drew, how are you guys doing? Hopefully everyone is having a great Friday. My Friday has been so-so because I couldn't sleep very well last night. I was with my brain working a lot, so I had a little bit of anxiety. I'm still feeling a little bit anxious though, but don't worry, it's recovering. I was, before starting the stream, doing some breathing exercises and sunbathing that was really good, and I'm planning to do some other things after the stream to get more relaxed and have a better night of sleep today. But yes, unfortunately, I may be a little bit tired, so I'm also not hoping to be streaming for many hours. I'm expecting this stream to go around 3 hours or so, something close to that, because I do want to get some rest and have some time to my mind to chill down, you know. I need to get out of my thoughts a little bit and prepare myself to have a better rest tonight. And hi Emily, what's up? But besides the anxiety and not being able to have a great sleep this night, I'm doing all right. I'm also doing, or I'm also going through some personal things, but it's going to be everything all right. Yeah, thank you so much, Drew. I'm pretty sure that this night I will be able to rest better than yesterday. I'm already feeling more relaxed and taking better care of myself too. And I will be drinking tea. I'm planning to eat some oatmeal for dinner as well because oatmeal helps you to sleep. So I'm also considering eating some chocolate to make me feel a little bit better. So I will be going for those things and they will definitely help me out. And Riker, hey man, thank you so much for the resub. How are you? Thank you so much, Drew. Also, Emily, thank you so much. You have been struggling to fall asleep lately, Victor. That sucks, man. What's going on? Is it the same that I'm feeling? Because I'm getting a lot of intense thoughts throughout the week. For example, on Wednesday, I was feeling angry. It's been like forever since I last felt angry. On Wednesday, I was feeling a lot of anger. And then it's all because of some things that I'm going through in my personal life. But after the anger ceased, then I started to feel anxious. So I'm feeling a lot of things. I'm like going through a roller coaster of emotions. But thankfully it's getting better now. I'm doing my best to not let it explode or to make it worse. So I'm already trying what I can do to to feel better, right? At least I can say that I feel more ready for these situations where you start feeling anxious, thanks to all the experience I had with anxiety last year, right? So I'm glad that it's been like forever since I last had anxiety problems, and now that it's happening from yesterday to today, I'm more ready for it. So it's not going to be as bad as it used to be. I'm not getting sick. It's just that I'm going through a lot of things in my personal life, like I was saying, and those things are making my head to work a lot. Like my brain is working a lot, and that's making me feel more agitated, right? And it's being harder for me to feel more relaxed. But I'm stopping those thoughts and trying to chill in an easier way, right? You get angry easily. I don't get angry easily. I may get frustrated easily, maybe, but not really angry. I can also get depressed very easily, but not anger. But I was feeling anger on Wednesday, but thank goodness it was also feeling better as the day was passing by. Although it also turned into anxiety, so it was a trigger to anxiety. For me, it's mostly that you're not getting sleepy, so your brain's super active. That's the situation that I'm facing too, Victor. I was really struggling because my brain was very active during this night. But thank goodness I know that I could sleep a bit because I had the dream and I remember the dream. So I know that I could get some rest, but it was a very shitty sleep. Like I was awake until very late, and then finally I somewhat could get some rest. Actually, that's what I would recommend to you, Victor. Even though your mind, your brain are working a lot, don't give up. That's also something else that I learned, that sometimes I will not fall asleep at first when I'm trying to fall asleep, but I should stay there and try to get any sort of rest that I can, because most of times, like 90% of times, I'll be able to get some sort of rest even though it takes forever or hours for it to happen. And it's going to be a shitty one, but at least it's something, right? For example, I'm feeling tired right now, but I'm not feeling like crazy insomnia like person. I'm doing okay. I'm tired, but I can handle the tiredness. So I do recommend you insisting, like stay on your bed. If there is something bothering you that you can do something about it, then do it fast and then return to your bed. For example, sometimes you can't sleep really well because you feel hungry or because you feel like thirsty or you want to go to the bathroom or something. Go there, do that, and return. And another thing that we have talked in the past that I did yesterday as well was to put my cell phone to play some white noise. What works for me most of times is like a storm noise. So I also put my cell phone to play some storm noises. And also my fans, right? I have three fans on my room that they were making their white noises, and I love to hear the white noises of the fans. And eventually I could sleep, although it was hard because of my brain being super active. But I'm trying to make it to slow down, right? By the way, guys, let me open the game right here. So we can keep going with this talk while the park is earning some money, right? But yeah, this is what we were able to start in here last Friday. And it's pretty much the basics just to prepare us for the real challenge, which are those five coasters right there that we need to finish. And hi Vadim, welcome man, what's up? Part 58, oh my god, does this game have an end? It has an end, but we are thankfully after the half part of it, right? We are after the half part of it. We are in the second half, and there is still a lot for us to do in here, but don't worry, it will be over someday. Although we are moving on to the sequels, RollerCoaster Tycoon 2, which I'm expecting to be way harder than this, and then RollerCoaster Tycoon 3. Let me go back on the chat. It's hard for you to control your anger, Riker. Here's what my therapist told me about anger, that kind of helped me to feel better about feeling angry because I can see the logic behind it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to make any change on the way you see it, right? But here's what she told me, that sometimes we get to a point in our lives that we get to exhaustion or we get exhausted, and we will react differently to those exhaustion feelings, right? And it seems that I reacted to it in a way of anger. And what she told me was that what a lot of people do, or at least one good thing for you to be doing with that anger, is for you to turn it into activity. For example, even though there are things that you don't want to do, but you kind of feel like the pressure or forced to do those things, or you kind of feel exhausted and then you need to start doing those things. And if you're feeling angry because of that, that's okay. Go for those things, do it with anger, and use your anger as your fuel, for you to do those things. So basically, turn your anger into something constructive, even though that idea sounds a bit weird or strange. But I can understand what she was trying to tell me, at least a little bit. That some people, they will only do things after they start getting angry because they can't find another solution for those problems or for their problems. And you can turn that anger into something good for you. So even though it's a bit strange, that's what she told me, and I try to do that, I guess. Or at least I'm trying to see it on that way. Sorry, just joined, you missed that part. You have been that way for a few years now. A mostly positive and creative brain activity for you, Victor. Have you been coming up with some music compositions or some music? Have you been practicing some new music? Which is nice, but it would be nicer if that happened during the day, right? Yeah. But another thing that helped me to not have a good night of sleep yesterday was definitely that I was spending a lot of time with my electronics. I spent a lot of time in front of a monitor working on the things for the honor awards, and I was like the whole afternoon doing those things. And then I moved on to my TV, and then I watched a lot of series, and then while I was watching the series I was also playing games on my 3DS and checking my smartphone. So I also thought that I was forcing my brain to be very active yesterday because I was doing all of those things, but also because of what I have been going through this whole week, right? You are like ultra aware of all the ways that people try to take advantage of you, and that's the main cause of your anxiety. But when your anxiety becomes problematic, feels completely random and out of your control, your life can be high anxiety and you handle it alright, and then your life can become comfortable and you will start having panic attacks out of the blue. Oh damn, Riker, hopefully you haven't been going through many panic attacks or even anxiety, right? In my case, like I was saying, it's been like a long time since I last felt anxious, but I can understand why I'm getting anxious like in these days. It's pretty much because of all the things that are going on my personal life. And it seems that the end result of that bunch of feelings that I was feeling was anxiety. But at least now we with some experience we can deal with it better, right? Or in a better way. But to me, I think that my anxiety has stopped being out of blue. Sometimes there are reasons why I'm starting to feel anxious, but the thing is that there is also another word, right? There is this word that I also talked a little bit about it with my therapist once, and it's about anguish. Anguish? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Sometimes my anxiety is actually anguish, and then I'm like having some personal issues, or my brain and my thoughts are having an internal fight because of anguish. While that fight's not over, that battle is not over for my thoughts to organize themselves and decide which path I'm going to take or what's going to be the result, I will be feeling this anguish. And then it takes some days until I finally get to a conclusion, and then the anxiety stops. But sometimes it is really hard for you to have any sort of control over that, because it's very complex for you to understand those thoughts and the triggers and those things. But most of times I think it's not out of blue. Most of times I think there is a whole situation happening, and then I'm not sure exactly what's the trigger, but something triggers it, and then I need to go through those feelings, the anxiety or the anguish. It doesn't seem like it. So it sounds like your cousin who can only clean when he gets angry at the mess. Only problem with that is the other people trying to help clean just get in his way. Wait, to help him to clean? That idea makes perfect sense to you, Victor. Being a musician, you draw a lot upon that. I got a little bit lost on what you guys were saying now in the end. Are you guys still talking about anger? How you can turn anger into something constructive? It's like also a sort of frustration, right? You get frustrated because things are not working really well for you or on the ways you would wish them to be working, and then that frustration becomes anger. It can also become like sadness or some sort of depression, but when nothing is really working out, it can turn into anger, and then you should use that anger to move on to something else. Your first comment was a response to Vadding. Oh, okay, okay. And your second one was to the anger topic. It doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like part 58 to you. Well, we did take a big break in these streams of RollerCoaster Tycoon. I started playing this game many years ago, or maybe I should say 2 years ago. Not many years, right? This channel is still very new, but we started in somewhat the beginning of this channel, and then we had a huge break, and then we recently returned to it. So that break kind of helped us to not feel like it's been that long that I have been playing this game. But the numbers are there to tell me that it's been that long that I have been playing it. Any emotion or feeling can be turned into something constructive if you want to. That makes a lot of sense, Victor. Yeah. I have been trying my best to become more active, like into things for me to be doing that will be constructive to my life. And that change sometimes is hard. For example, I'm already a little bit disappointed on myself because I was with this plan of swimming every week, and I still haven't swum. Yeah, I still haven't swum this week, but mostly because of the weather. The weather is getting cold, and I usually swim on Thursdays. Yesterday was cloudy and cold, and then I was like, if I go to the pool, it's going to be windy, and I'm going to not like the water's temperature. But I'm still finding solutions to that. For example, I'm hoping that by Monday it gets hotter again, and then I can go to swim, or on Tuesday as well. Those 2 days would be good replacements for Thursday. The opposite is also true though. Any emotion feeling can be destructive, just depends on how you use them. That's also that's also true, right? You guys are saying things that I agree. It's all a matter of your brain, right? It's all a matter of how you work on your own thoughts. Probably about 90-80% of Americans get have swum wrong, but I did it right, right? I learned it because there was one stream that we had this talk because I was trying to remember the conjugation of the verb. After that talk, I felt better about it. It's swim, swam, swum. And I was thinking that was like swim, swam, swam, but no, there is swam, and I was mispronouncing it. And then I learned it thanks to that stream, so now I'm good. Have swum is correct, but no one ever uses it. Do people say swam then? They do? People will just say I have swam. Well, I will try to say it like in the right way, but if people don't understand me, then I will try changing to swam again. But to not feel like very confused, I will try going the right way. I think you were here, right, Nubble, when I was having that talk? I think I was talking about it with you and Emily, if I remember it right. And then you helped me to learn that. I didn't know swam was a thing, and then you thought that swam was the only past tense way of saying it. No offense to Americans, but they get a lot of English wrong. No one knows that swam is a thing. I'm now wondering if swam is a thing in other countries. Do people say it, Victor, like swam in there? Let me check what people are thinking in here. Is Wait, is a lot a word where you come from? Because it's not here. I know like a lot separated, right? Not in one single word. A lot. I think that Victor maybe mistyped it. Yeah, we're just teasing him, right? I think it was a mistypo or a typo. Yeah, but Victor does typos very often, especially because it is late in there, and he gets tired. So I can't really check their thoughts because it's raining. Oh, by the way, I have some good news, even though it's very small news, because it's not going to make any big change in my life, at least not now. But I'm happy that I'm finally doing it. It was one of my goals of this year. I finally started an investment. So even though, once again, it's a very tiny and small one, it's not going to be very profitable. I'm happy that I started it because um, once it's back, because I need to lend that money to the bank, and then once it's back after the period I need to wait, I'm hoping that I will have more money to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm glad that I was able to start it. And also in this time, I will try to learn more about other options of investments that are better than the one that I went for. Than the one that I went for. Yeah, Victor is Swedish. Why you're taking England's side here? Wait, is there any sort of conflict between Sweden and England? Though to be fair, a lot is a common misspelling. Investing is complicated and time consuming. It depends. That's what I was saying. I went for a very safe investment. That's why I'm not going to get any big or major or huge return, but it's going to at least be better than my bank savings. Like the bank savings are not very profitable, so it is a little bit more profitable than that. So that's a good change. But if I really want to go deeper and learn the more complicated and more profitable investments, that will require more study, and that's something that I still need to be doing. Hey, don't knock the small victories. That's true. I'm very happy that I was able to finally start it because I know it's better than my bank savings. So little by little, that amount of money that's invested, it's going to help me out more. That's true, Noble. I'm happy that I could still do it this year because I had this idea for some months, but it's finally on the works now. You have been wanting to get into it. I have been following some YouTube channels that discuss about investments, and I still need to do like some sort of binging of a playlist that will be teaching me all I need to know regarding investments. I still haven't done it. I have only been watching videos that are like split around. and they may or may not be talking about the same subject. But there is this playlist on this YouTube channel that I should stop and watch it. I will try to do that at some point, especially before the money returns, so I can feel more ready for the next investment. But it's more the biggest barrier is the fear of investing. And once you learn it's not too complicated, or okay, there are complicated investments, of course. We still need to feel more brave to go into them, and also to get smarter to see how they work and everything. But there are options that are easy for you to go, very easy and not complicated, like the one I went for, that are better than the bank savings. So I'm glad that I at least went for it finally. It's really just slightly more acceptable gambling. You can read 5 different guides to investing and they will all contradict each other. Yeah, it's complicated. I agree with you. Especially the great investments, right? Like the big ones. That's why I'm still going in the safe path, since I don't really understand the other options. I'm going I'm playing safe right now. I'm going to the investments that won't be very profitable, but it's already better than what I was doing, right? I'm just taking small steps. Because with some differences, the British version makes logical and linguistical sense, whereas the American version looks like a misspelling. You think that's true of both, to be honest? Some things make more sense in American English and some things make more sense in British English, or sound better. Yeah, maybe that's also part of their accent and culture. For example, that thing regarding cookies and biscuits, right? That in America it's cookies and then in England it's biscuits. If you head there and say cookies, it's going to sound weird. Oh yeah, it's color, right? Yeah, color. You're used to American English and you think some differences in British English are an improvement? Investments are interesting. You sat down and listened to the conversation between your mom and her investor once. You learned you want to sell high and buy low. Yeah, that's exactly what happens in the stock market. Hopefully, I'm using the right word because this is a very specific vocabulary. I'm not sure if I know it really well. A friend of mine has been doing business on stock market. Hopefully, someday he can teach me this stuff. But right now, I'm going in the safe direction or on the safe path. What I did was to lend some money to the bank. That's pretty much it. And then once that money is back to me, it's going to be back with some um and then there is a word that I'm not sure how to say it in English. um Not taxes, it's is it a loan? Maybe it is loan actually, because if I'm lending that money to the bank, they gotta pay it back to me with loan, right? But yes, I'm still on the safe path. Your favorite example of an interesting difference between American and British English is the word defense. Oh, you write it with C in England? It is the proper spelling? Seriously? Offense has an S in it, so defense should should too. That kind of makes sense. You see, completely logical. I didn't know defense was with C. Nobody really writes it like that. Oh, it's wrong? Oh, okay, wait, it's wrong then. Okay. Both are right? It depends where you live. So it's just like color, armor, theater, and all of those words. But interesting, I would think that defense with C would be wrong, because I have never heard of it before. You are teaching me bad things? No. You guys are teaching me how the word can be diverse. And then both are right. People were saying that they were not paying that much to go on scrambled eggs, alright? Also, I'm guessing they are not going to the merry-go-round too. Okay, we need to decrease the prices in here. Apartment, it's better than flat. Flat's stupid, and British people count floors weirdly. But the fence was spelled with C long before Americans decided to change it. But today, nobody really writes it with C anymore. I have seen people saying flat before, but I don't think it is that common, is it? I would never use that word. But if I see it, I will understand it. Oh wait, they gave me the souvenir stall, let's have it. Why are apartments called flats? Good question. I never wondered that. There are some other things like that, like blinker versus indicator. Blinker versus indicator. I think I know what you're talking about, but those words sound weird to me for what they are. Just ask a British person. Or bonnet versus hood? Okay, I have never heard of bonnet. Trousers, I have heard of trousers, but I also thought that trousers was an old word for it, and then nobody uses it anymore. Like a blinker on a car, it's the flashlight, isn't it? British people have never heard of that word. Indicator sounds like the proper name for the car signals. Yeah, indicator, it's more direct. Blinker sounds like, I don't know, Christmas lights. You that you put on your Christmas tree. But that's the only thing they are called in the UK. Which, by the way, guys, are you guys excited for Christmas? Because it's almost it. Now that it's past October, the year is completely over. You are not? A blinker sounds like a word invented by a 6-year-old child. That too, right? At first I was thinking on those things that, you know, when you go to a restaurant and then they will give you like a code, and then you need to wait a certain amount of minutes until there something rings, and then you go to the restaurant to get your food or your package or whatever you're buying. I was thinking on that sign, a neon sign or something that flashes your number, your code, and that would be a blinker to me. Like, oh, okay, it's blinking, so, or flashing. That's it. Oh, Riker, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Emily. It's Christmas. It is Christmas, Emily. It's still like 1.5 months left. That's going to go by in a in a single breath, right? That's how it's going to be like, Victor. It's almost, man, it's almost the middle of November already. You already got your Christmas money, so you have nothing to look forward to. But first we'll have Black Friday as well, right? We'll have Black Friday, and I was actually seeing the prices for the Switch in the US during Black Friday. I believe it's going to be like $300, and it's a bundle with Mario Kart Deluxe. That sounds good, doesn't it? A friend of mine is planning to buy a Switch when he travels to the US on December. So he's probably going to miss this offer for Black Friday, but hopefully they will have another one for Christmas. Oh, the Switch is always $300 normally. The Mario Kart bundle has been around forever. Really? Switches basically don't get discounted, they are too popular. Oh, okay. So never mind. I was thinking it was a good deal, but it's been always like that then. You admit that you have already started listening to a few Christmas tunes, but we are not ready for full Christmas hype yet. Me neither, man. Me neither, to be honest. To me, the slowest time passes by before Christmas, the best or the better. Especially because I still need to work a lot on the Earn Awards 2019, so I don't want to see time rushing because I'm still a little bit behind. You can't participate in Black Friday or Cyber Monday. You gotta save money after Sword and Shield is released since you pre-ordered on Amazon. So Noble, you pretty much have your gift already bought, right? It's going to be Sword and Shield. But Target has good deals on games. You think you can get Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey for 25 bucks each, and some games are 15 bucks each? What would be the best place for you to buy Switch games in the US during or not during holidays? Because then maybe I can tell this friend of mine to go to that shop and buy some games there. Although he was honestly planning to go to the Nintendo store in New York to buy his Switch there. Because according to him, he said that the prices of the Switch won't be very different no matter where you buy it, since it seems that the shops they need to have the same prices around. I'm not sure if that's fully true, but that's what he told me. Because I was at first thinking, if you head to the Nintendo store in New York, isn't it going to be very expensive? Like more expensive than buying it in another place, like in Amazon or Target or any other place? And then he told me that it's not going to be like that, because they do follow the same prices, or there is a good average of the prices, and it's not going to be a huge change, you know. You love the Nintendo store, Emily? It's cool AF. It's cost the same. Yeah, he told me that. I was like, seriously? Because if you were in Brazil, if you go to one of those places that are like the brand shop, it's going to be very expensive. And then if you go to some more popular shops and stores, they will have better deals and better prices. I would have to look at the Black Friday deals and find the games you want to buy and see what's the cheapest. So it's going to be very it diverses a lot. It's very different. But Target looks good in general for Black Friday. You had Sword and Shield pre-ordered for months now, Noble. But I'm saying that I'm guessing from what you said that you can't spend a lot of money again. You need to start saving money. So I'm thinking that Sword and Shield was kind of your end of the year bot, you know. You want to go there again to get some plushies, Emily? Do you have any plushies? If it costs more, no one would go there. They probably make a ton of non-game merchandise. Oh, that's true. For example, the plushies. People Up is a great choice, at least. You have a huge People Up? He needs a friend? That sounds awesome. How big is it? You have a picture of it? I only have Yoshi and question mark block plushie. Those are my only two plushies. I don't even remember for sure where I bought these things. At least I don't remember where I bought the Yoshi, but I believe this question mark block, I bought it in pretty much the biggest gaming event in Brazil, Brazil Game Show. But this Yoshi, I'm not sure where I bought it. But yeah, those are my only two plushies. You don't have any Pokemon plushies? Me neither. I only have my Pokemon paper crafts. For this show and tell. Yeah, man. The only plushies you have are a small Eevee keychain from Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu with a Zard hoodie. Oh, I have seen him. Yes, I have seen pictures of the Zard Pikachu. I believe that if you pre-order Pokemon Sword and Shield bundle, you may get a plushie, just like the Eevee keychain from Let's Go or something. But then I'm not sure if that's only happening in Japan or if it's happening everywhere. But I remember seeing that. Also, Emily, changing the topic a little bit. How's your progress in RollerCoaster Tycoon? Also, Emily, another thing that I need to tell you, thank you so much for giving me some ideas of don't give up about this shitty food you bought last week and try to season it. I followed your advice and I was able to still eat that meal that I was complaining so much last weekend, and it was good. Like, I decided to add some seasonings to it, and I also decided to save it for... Was it on Tuesday? Yes, it was on Tuesday. I decided to save that food for Tuesday so I could get a small rest of that taste on Monday, and I ate elsewhere on Monday. And then on Tuesday I felt better regarding, okay, I can try eating this again. And then I decided to heat the black beans and add some paprika on it. And then I also added some rosemary on those soapy fries. In the end, the seasonings, they worked really great. I also added some olive oil and vinegar to the vinaigrette sauce that was not very good, like it was not seasoned very well. I added those things to the vinaigrette sauce and it gave it a boost. So on Wednesday I was able to have a much better enjoyable food than on Sunday, right? The day that I ate it first, I believe. And thank goodness I decided to give it a break on Monday, eat somewhere else to change my taste, and then I went back to it on Tuesday and it worked much better. You weren't gonna wait an extra week to get the game just for a plushie like what happened with Let's Go Eevee? Oh, really? They are delayed on their deliveries if you order them? You thought that game was lost in the mall? Or in the mail? You thought that game was lost in the mail? You just finished playing a level actually? It was a world that looked like Mars. Oh, we were playing one of my favorite levels then. It's Future World. I really loved that level. It's one of those levels that I never forgot after many years, right? After playing that level for many years. It's one of those levels that I can easily remember it. Those space-related levels are very rare in this game. By the way, did you guys see the crazy thing they have done with Smash Brothers? I mean, I was not excited for the new character, Terry Bogard, but I was very hyped that they released 50 songs for his DLC. 50 songs for his DLC, that was insane. So that's what was really impressive to me. You were annoyed with it, to be honest, because oh no, a coaster crashed. Emily, how was it? And you almost didn't make enough guesses. Did you say Future World? Yeah, that's a song by one of your favorite bands. You know what, Victor? Since you really love it, I will load the level of Future World in here just to show it to you. We can go back here again, right? Yeah, this was my Future World. Was it this coaster, Emily? The Thunder Twist? They do have more. Yeah, they have two trains in here, so there is a chance it can crash. This is pretty much a coaster model that is very rare, or used to be very rare, and one of the few times you see it, or one of the first times you see it, is in this level. So this is the trademark of this level, in my opinion, this coaster. But now it's getting more common. Some levels they have it, but it's like one of your first contacts with that coaster, and also the flying saucers, I would say. Oh man, I should have hired more handymen. So let me go back to Dragon's Cove. It's a very cool level, in my opinion. At least it is very different. You still find it was funny that Sakurai sent the 50 songs to SNK in hopes they would trim it down to like 20, and he got back in response was cool. Yeah, that's true, right? I was very surprised they couldn't narrow it down, like send them a shorter amount of songs. They were really um, what's the word? Let me see if I can remember the word so it can become more common in my vocabulary. They were really bold. Is it bold? They were really bold on sending 50 songs, right? It's like asking for too much. SNK Victor is a video games company, and they have developed some games such as Metal Slug and also Fatal Fury, right? Yeah, Fatal Fury, and also the King of Fighters. And we were talking about it because the latest character that was out for Smash Brothers was a character from Fatal Fury, and it's from SNK. Also, the company that created the Neo Geo. Yeah. Did I say the word right? Is it bold? They were really bold on sending 50 songs to SNK. I really hope that I remembered it. They were really audacious, they were really brave, but no, they were really bold. I believe that's a word that fits better the context. Bold sounds right? Okay, there we go. So maybe I learned it right. Because I also remember a talk in the past that I was trying to come up with this word, and then people told me it was bold. So now that in the future I have the chance to use it, I need to use it so I can remember it for every time. You see, the English learnings I get in here from the chat, they work. They really work to me. First, it was the talk about swimming. Swim, swam, swum. Oh, wait. I need to get better on that pronunciation then. Audacious? Audacious. Okay, that's hard. Audacious. What? Okay, I need to get my notebook. It's not in here. I'll be right back. The last time I said it was the best, audacious. By the way, I have been considering stopping my English class like for next year, but I'm still not sure if what I'm doing right or what I'll be doing. But it's just a thought. People will often draw out the R sound just slightly to emphasize the word, because usually whenever they are saying someone is being audacious, it calls for the emphasis. Audacious. Can you imagine how audacious he is? Advanced English lesson. Wait, am I making any progress? I'm just trying to read what you're saying the best way I can. But am I... What's my score? Is it A plus? Probably not. Audacious. But yes, I have been thinking about stopping the classes because one of the things that I have been going through regarding those personal things is that I have been under my safe zone a lot, and I should try doing new things and try starting new things or going outside of my box a little bit. And I realized that when I'm there in the English course, I'm in a very comfortable zone. I'm not saying that I'm like an English pro, or I'm not saying that I know all I have to know about English. That's not the case. I'm always learning every day. I'm learning something new. And I don't think that's how most things are in life actually. But I realized that I'm in a very comfortable situation in my English class. In other words, I'm not really learning much things there, and because I have been streaming and it's in English and that helps me to have some sort of fluency in English, I'm not making any improvement regarding my English in the English course, right? I'm of course having some improvement, but it's still in a comfortable zone. And I should look forward to something completely out of my comfortable zone. And then I'm thinking about starting something else. I was also thinking about, oh, why don't I start a new language? But then I'm not sure if I should start studying another language. I was considering starting Spanish, right? But then I was thinking, am I really going to use Spanish at this moment of my life? And is it not going to be just like what happened to me regarding German, that I completely forgot, or not completely, but I forgot a lot of German that I studied? So I have been trying to think about what should I start studying that would be more useful to me at this moment of my life, and that would also be out of my comfortable zone. And then the biggest reason why I have been taking those English classes is mostly because of socialization, or being social and meeting people and making friends. But still, I can still make friends and meet new people if I go to another course, right? Or if I start studying something else. So I got that idea this week, and I'm really considering it. I don't know what I'm going to jump into, but I'm hoping it's going to be something more important for my present moment at life or in life. I speak English really well. It would help you to visit America to learn the little quirks and how to convey emotion by emphasizing words differently. Oh yeah, my accent will always be part of this emphasizing problem. But I totally get what you're saying. But obviously that's expensive. Yeah. It's not something that I can do at the moment. I'm still trying to give the future me a better future. For example, by starting the investment today, it's a present, it's a gift to the future me in like 10, 15 years later, because I'm trying to do things now that will have more impact on the future, more than what my past me did to my present me, you know? That's kind of very crazy, but I'm realizing that the past me did not give me, like present me, many good things, like many things to help me. So I'm now trying to worry more about the future and trying to do things today thinking on the future instead of doing things today thinking on today. Of course, a lot of things I do today thinking on today, but I'm now more worried about the future, especially because I don't think past me did a lot of good things to present me. It did things, but it could have done way more, you know? You can relate to that, Emily? Yes, Emily. Emily, we do have a lot in common. Every time I'm being a little bit more personal here, we can totally share some things in common. That's what I have been going through at this moment, and that's why I'm really considering being more active into stuff, into life, because I need to give a better future to future me. And even though I'm not sure what I really want or what I really want to be and stuff, I need to do things, or I won't have, or things won't change. Like I will still be the present me that doesn't think on the future me, and then the future me will have trouble, will be in trouble, you know. I also wish I was smarter with my decisions too. Yes, completely. For example, this investment that I'm doing today, imagine if I was doing that, or if I were doing that 10 years ago. Just imagine how things would have been way more different to me today in the present time. One good thing though was that my mother decided to get the money that I was earning from my old job and putting it on my bank savings. Even though I never really thought about spending that money uh, with things, because I usually only spend my money on food, and I use it to go to Rio a lot, so also on transportation. But mostly food. I would say that food is what I spend my money the most with. Even though I was not like buying physical things and getting devices and stuff, I was not being that smart of investing that money or thinking about the future. But my mother was at least getting that money and putting it on the bank savings. And then now, today, I can see the effects of that. And because of that, I want to do it for, I don't know, 10 years old later me to have a better situation in his life, hopefully. I wish younger you could have had the time to plan for the future. You know what's the biggest thing though, Nubble? I'm realizing that one big reason why I couldn't plan for present me in the past was because I never knew, and I still don't know what I want to be in the future. That's pretty much it. So because I don't know what's happening in the future regarding me, I can't plan myself. But that's incorrect. Even though I don't know what I want to be or what I want to do or whatever, there are things that I can do. Even though it's hard for you to do that planning, but it's possible. Like, even though you're not sure what's coming up ahead, you shouldn't be too scared of it, and you can totally find ways of giving you a better life in the future. For example, by investing. or by studying as well, right? Thank goodness I was able to study some things that gave me some knowledge. I just need to find ways to use that knowledge today, though. That's my problem now. Or start new things as well. I'm planning to start studying new things. But it's pretty much that I'm a question mark. I don't know what I am, what I want to do, what I want to be. And those problems, they make you really not see yourself in the future. And because of that lack of um, perception, maybe, or I'm not sure what's the best word for me to be using for that, but because of this lack of picturing yourself in the future, you really have trouble to plan yourself for it, right? So I'm trying to change that a little bit. Even though it's a bit late, but it's never too late, right? You have no idea what to do with your life right now, Nubble. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. But I do think that once you realize that, for example, 10 years ago, you were not worrying that much for present you, and then if present you has a lot of problems going on in their lives, and you can see that some of those problems are things that you haven't done in the past, you can get lessons from that, you know? You can totally get learnings from that. And then you can change present you for the upcoming future. You are an old man and haven't figured it out yet, Riker? Everyone in here is in the same package. We are in the same club. We are gonna start putting anywhere from 20 to 40 into a savings account. Do it, Nubble. Do it. It's really going to be very important. There we go, Nubble. Yes, go for it, man. Let's go for it together. I will also be saving more money and using that money to uh, to combine it with when the money I invested returns, and then it's going to be a bigger money for me to keep doing more and more investments. That's the plan. We got it started now because we haven't started 10 years ago. It's just a lot of indecision because of that. I can totally understand, Emily. In the future, they will be able to scan your brain and figure out what you're good at. For example, let me give you one example then. You guys were just saying that my English is good and I really appreciate it, but ask me if like 15 years ago, or maybe even a little bit more than that, when I was starting to learn English, ask me if I imagined that English would be somewhat important in my life. I had no idea. I was not imagining that this would happen in my life. But at the same point, I had no idea what would happen in my life anyway. So this is just a result or a possibility, right? But I was not expecting English to be important to me as it is today. So you kinda should treat everything you study in your life with some sort of importance and care, because you never know when you that will become important to you. Learning a language is like an investment, and it was a very unpredictable slash surprising investment to me, because it was definitely something that I at first did not realize it would be this important to me, but it's also a way for you to escape, if that makes any sense. For example, I was really frustrated with my situation in my country, and start to stream and meeting people from other countries was escape from my reality. It was escape from this world that I was stuck in. So it is definitely a tool that will surprise you when you least expect it. In the future, oh wait, I read it. I feel like that could backfire. What do you mean by that, Emily? You want to study another language? I do still want to study Spanish, and there is a chance I will move on to Spanish, but I feel like I should be learning something else before, or I should be learning something that will be more important to my present life than Spanish. You recently made friends with someone who lives in France, and it's making you want to learn French? Oh, the AI thing? Oh, I see. You feel like the AI thing could backfire? Aren't there some either dystopia or sci-fi movies that already try to plan your future and then you can't accept it and stuff? It's going to be another talk regarding fate and destiny, right? But for example, today I feel like the area of my brain that I have been using the most is definitely language or communication. When years ago I always thought that what interested me the most was, I don't know, math, physics, chemistry, and actually I will try to go a little bit back to those things because I do have some books, a lot of books actually, that I still need to read, and I lost this connection that I had with sciences in general. So I will try to read some books that I bought many years ago about science and stuff to see if I can reconnect to it, to those areas, and see if they will help me to find a solution to where should I head next in my life. If it's going to work, I don't know, but I'm definitely going to take a shot because you never know. You you think that I meant utopia? It could be utopia, but I was trying to say dystopia. Is it dystopia? It is dystopia. I pronounced it like dystopia, right? No, it is dystopia. Now I'm remembering this album of a band that I like, and their album is called Dystopia, so it is dystopia. Oh wait, you were being sarcastic? Sometimes I can't see the sarcasm though. Yeah, there are movies like that for sure, Emily, and also books. The whole AI decides your profession reminds you of the first episode of Futurama. Utopia is the opposite of dystopia. Utopia isn't utopia like an impossible dream? I know it's a very abstract uh, meaning, but to me, utopia is like an impossible dream. Oh yeah, and then dystopia would be like a possible future. That's right. Dystopia could be like usually it's put as a disaster. It's like a bad future, but it's kind of possible. There is some proximity to how technology and how society are moving on, right? Utopia is an ideal, perfect society. Maybe that's why I had the impression it is like an impossible dream, because a perfect society is a kind of impossible. Isn't Utopia a paradise? Yes, there is an album called Dystopia, Victor. No, I don't mean Megadeth though. I mean the Midnight Juggernauts. Have you ever heard of the Midnight Juggernauts? They do have this mix of... Actually, Victor, maybe you should give them a listen. When you were asking me for some recommendations of electronic bands, they play some electro rock. It's not fully electronic, but their rock songs have some synthesizers, they have some electronic sounds to them. Especially, I would recommend you checking out the music Shadows. When we were talking about, oh, hey Joe Dancing, how's it going, Angel Dancing? Congrats, because it's over, isn't it over? It gotta be over. 5 weeks have passed by. It's over, Joe Dancing. So congrats. Let us know how was it. Hopefully, it was a big success, and now you can finally rest, watch series, enjoy the good life, and celebrate as a survivor of that movie festival. There we go, Joe Dancing. Just to kick off the food, you all. Okay, Emily, I'm waiting. Victor, try searching for them on YouTube. It's the Midnight Juggernauts. I will type it on the chat. Wait. Oh, by the way, this has been a just chatting stream. We haven't been playing roller coaster at all, but that's not big news, right? The Midnight Juggernauts Shadows. Wait. I was about to say, Victor, that if there is something that I love in electronic music is when they mix electronic music with bass lines. And this time I pronounced bass right. Another learning that I got from the chat. Yes, when you have like a very good bass line going on with electronic music, I love that combination so much. And one of the songs I sent you, Victor, was a Daft Punk song called Voyager. And that song is very good to me because of its bass line. If there is a song that sounds like that bass line, but it's not Daft Punk song, that's the one. It's Midnight Juggernaut Shadows. So I hope you like it. Give it a listen. They also have some other different songs as well that will go in different directions than that one. For example, the first songs of the Dystopia album, they are more aggressive sounding, I would say. They are more fast as well. Oh, maybe you won't like them because they are too fast, I'm not sure. But maybe you will because of some metal songs that are very fast. But yeah, you should also try to look for um, I will get its name. Give me a second here. Into the Galaxy. Yes, Into the Galaxy is a very good song. And also the other one, how's it called? I'm playing the songs on my mind trying to remember the titles of them. Ending of an Era. I believe those are the names. Try looking for End of an Era, it's something like that. And Into the Galaxy as well. See what you think about those songs later, Victor. If you want to listen to them later, I can message you on Twitter those songs. And also, hey Subareliho, what's up, man? How are you? Let me go back to the chat. I'm losing the messages. A ton of people came out this week to dancing, and you are a survivor. Good job, good job. We are all survivors. You made some banana bread? Oh, Emily, I need to make some banana bread. I watched Draco West's banana bread stream. Actually, he was doing a cooking stream, but he cooked banana bread in the end of it. It looked easy, and I never tried cooking it. What's the last meal everyone ate? Pasta. Yes, I ate tomato sauce pasta today. And I would be really surprised if you meant the Victor, the Megadeth Day and me, it will never happen, man. It would never happen, man. Unless it is a meme, unless it is a forró version of a Megadeth song that sounds funny, and then I will send it to you. But the real Megadeth and me, I'm not into metal at all. But then again, Gio sent me some music that you had showed him that was freaking. Wait, what? Okay. Oh, wait. Once again, unless it is a meme, maybe the songs Gio sent to you were memes that I sent Gio. There is this band in here that it's called Massacration. They do some, or they play some very funny songs, metal songs. And yes, I sent some of those songs to Gio just for the jokes, right? Just for fun. Maybe those were the songs he sent you. Oh, what about Jordan? Jordan was a great band, right, to dancing? I need to listen more of their other songs. I heard that song on this YouTube channel that I follow, that they are daily updating new videos with songs in there, and this person has a fantastic music taste. At least it matches mine very well. So every day that I'm checking my YouTube feed, I listen to the songs he posts there, and then he posted Jordan. And then I was like, okay, this gotta be something that I need to share to Joe Dancing because it's super great music. It's also very groovy. I'm happy that you also liked it. But we need to check more of that band, right? This is also the picture of your people. Let me see. Oh my god, it's so little, so cute. Although the head is huge, right? Oh my god. His head is like half size of his body, but he's super cute. I hope you can get another plushie soon, Emily. You love banana bread with some walnuts, Joe Dancing? I need to try it. It looks bigger than what you were imagining. The head was what surprised me. You just had a cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese, but it had